The fact that Barack Obama still has a hairline that's visible after what living at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue put him through alone just not only is proof, but just solidifies that he is truly the chosen one.
No, that's right.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
I know that's right.
What word do I overuse?
No, that's right.
Hi guys, it's your girl Savvy C. Welcome back to I Know That's Right, a weekly video series where I give spoiler-free book reviews revolving around a monthly theme. And January's theme is origin stories. Now, I know you're wondering, Savannah, girl, it's March. I know. Because because it took me all of February, literally all 28 days. It wasn't a leap year, so I didn't have an extra day. It took me all 28 days to finish the 44th president of the United States of America, Barack Obama's A Promised Land. Okay, this book is an experience. Okay, it is the ultimate. I mean, look, do you see how 768 pages, 27 chapters, 7 sections, thick, in depth, and really takes us along the journey as all good memoirs do. Now, if you're paying close attention, you notice the count's off. Hold up. A promise, but a land is in a different language. That is because my last ripe, solidified L of 2020 was buying this book in French from Presence Africaine, which is a great bookstore. I went there and made a little vlog back. I'm gonna go check it out later. And I wanted to buy, this book from a Black-owned bookstore. And so I bought it in person, and just in my, I guess it's like excitement and maybe slightly tired and just whatever, I totally missed that it was in French. So I kind of started it in French and wanted to practice, but it was so dense and so thick. So I got it on Audible, and I really recommend, if you too are daunted by the size of it and are unsure about it, get it on audiobook. Hearing his impressions alone of world leaders, he did Angela Merkel and oh my gosh, Mitch McConnell. His Mitch McConnell was hilarious. About his family in Kenya, doing a little, Africa. It was just really great and just really funny to just hear, just a person's voice, hearing them tell their story, hearing Obama tell his story in his own words with, little inflections and accents and everything else and nuances overall that you wouldn't get from just reading it, with your own voice in your own head. So A Promised Land does, everything a good memoir does, in the sense of takes us through, transports us to his world, Obama's world, and documents thoroughly. This is his 4th book, so this is far from him, his first time at the rodeo, so very familiar with how to, write a book and compose one. And this book introduces us and just shows us his formal introduction to politics and how he got, to being the 44th president and, living at 1600 Pennsylvania. It starts off, of course, talking about, his upbringing and, meeting Michelle and Lavon Robinson. It was so funny how he said it. And everything that came with that, having, Sasha Malia and all that stuff. But then it really, the bulk of it starts off of him being an Illinois state senator and, trying to figure that out while also teaching law, and then progressing to a U.S. senator, and then, speaking at the DNC, and then how, he announced his run for president, won, and just the campaign trail, and then it really just focuses on his first, term, his first term as president. And, this is just part 1, which is woo! But it is, I remember when I first heard that this was just part 1, a part 2 is coming. And I was like, how? And now I know how by reading it. It just literally, I'm telling you, breaks down and gives every, context and background story. And even though, it gives so much, and I feel at times I was reading, I was like, am I allowed to read this? I don't have a GS clearance. Can I read this? There's still so much to share that I'm sure was top secret, confidential, classified, whatever you couldn't share with the mass public, the world. But he really just takes us through, his day in and day out, the good, the bad, and the oh so ugly that comes with politics, that comes with campaigning, that comes with, his idealism of trying to have, America that everyone can be a part of, and America that everyone can see themselves represented in, and, breaking barriers, being, the first black man. He was the only black man, or only black person in the Senate when he was a senator. And then obviously, of course, being the first black president. So just what comes with that, the heavy burden. I mean, like LeBron had the Eastern Conference on his back against the Warriors. Obama had like the entire country, and the economic crisis, and just the housing bubble and everything, like just everything that he entered the presidency with and just dealt with on a daily basis, and just really just details it with us and talks about his shortcomings as well. This book is really insightful and just a nice reminder of just the humanity of the presidency and what goes behind the scenes with politics, and why really just explains why everything seems so snail pace with Washington, right? And why things are the way they are. He gives a really good context and background as to, it kind of explaining the origins of Trump and the, that type of, partisan heavy type of politics, era of politics that we're now entering in, where we're deeply divided, and there's poor Joe was trying to bring the girls together, but they are it's a lot, just immense partisan battles, right, where that comes from, how that began. Talking about social media too, and how it helped him with particularly his second re-election, second term in office, of how that software, that technology then later on turned into to helping Trump win, and helping other leaders across the world win, or be deceptive of the constituents voting for them, and etc. So it was just really interesting to just get some much needed context, or things that, because he was elected when I was 10 years old in 08. Yeah, Obama 08. So it just gave great context to that, and just explained really in a way I feel like I've never heard before, about just the presidency and about politics, and about just the nuances and intricacies of what happens on Capitol Hill, what happens in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I really recommend. I think this book is perfect for anyone that obviously is interested in political science, interested in politics, being a career politician, or dabbling into campaign life, whatever. But ultimately, though, I think this is reading this halfway through, probably the renegade section, which is his name. I thought that was really funny. That's his code name or whatever when Secret Service is calling him. And I halfway when I got to that section, I was this reminds me of a weed out college, or a read out class in college, of if you can finish this book, if you can make it through that class, especially with a really tough professor, a notably tough professor, then you can make it through the major, you can make it into politics. So think of it kind of like that. This is the ultimate weed out book. If you can read this book and you still want to serve in a public service position, you want to serve as a politician, you want to serve and cater to your community, or the greater country, then I say go for it. You can do it. You got my votes, or let me not lie, you might not, but you have my support. And so yeah, I just really recommend it for people like that. Too, I would say people who too were really critical of the Obama administration and his legacy, and really find problems with it, and especially with post-racial society and colorblind culture that too developed after he was elected, where all that comes from. I think this book will give some much needed perhaps empathy, or just understanding of where his ideology came from, and where it lied, and how he did his best, as we all try to do, to make that come to life. What else? Oh, another thing too. This book was memoir, but part cipher. Oh my gosh, Obama was just coming for people. So some parts I was hold on. I was where's Secret Service? Hold my man back. He did not hold anything back, and rightfully so. It's his book. Talk your talk, more rock. But it was just so funny. Sometimes it just really getting the things off his chest, setting the record straight, just in case the girls forgot. He has all the receipts, and this is just you know, part one. It starts with him, you know, like I said, growing up and being a state senator in Illinois, and then ends with the assassination of Osama bin Laden. So takes you through the journey. So that is part one. Part two, we'll see when that comes out. I'm sure he's already working on it now as we speak and as you're watching this. But yeah, so that wraps up the origin stories of January. We are now in March. Happy March, almost springtime. Woo-woo, daylight savings. And since it is March and, you know, it's a new month, new theme, I decided to kind of, I typically don't want to like cater and pander to holidays, but for this case, I was like, I love being, you know, Black and a woman, you know what I'm saying? Let's just celebrate that. Let's celebrate womanhood. And so since March is, you know, Women's History Month, right? I should have looked that up before I said this. I'm pretty sure it's Women's History Month. Yeah, Women's History Month. Black History Month, Women's History Month, yeah. So I just thought to celebrate that. And so March theme is Like a Girl. So all the books I'll be talking about are by women, period. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned and look out for that. Thank you guys so much for watching and being just so patient with me. I know my posting has been a little irregularly, but I really appreciate just your patience with me and just still supporting and watching and you know, reading along with me. Be sure to comment below your thoughts on the book, on just Obama's legacy. If you're thinking about reading it, if you haven't read it, if you're, you know, you dab a little bit here and there, I'd love to hear in the comments below. And be sure to share this with someone too that, you know, you think would like this book, would benefit from it, or just overall would be interested in it. As always, I'm sending my love to wherever you are in the world where you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!